The Warriors really did have no business winning this game. So the basketball gods gifted us with the most agonizing loss in the history of losses. A 24-point comeback only to blow the game due to inbounds passes and a question about, are the G League Warriors coming for the first round Warriors? What are we talking about on today's Locked On Dubs?
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast.
What are they going to say now?
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to Locked On Warriors. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team. It's every day, and it's the #1 sports podcast network out there. My name is Charlie Walter, telling you that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA. You will get $20 off your first purchase. Crazy finish that we just saw in Philadelphia. Man, that Tyrese Maxey is incredible. The third string dubs today, or at least the 2.5 string dubs, not the guys that are typically first off the bench, were the ones leading the Warriors again, just like Oklahoma City. Is it time we start putting some stake into that? What changed in this game, and how can the Warriors win this road trip? Welcome back, De'Anthony Melton, and welcome to Matt Kolsky as we break down a Warriors loss. Final score in this one, a 1-point defeat that Golden State is handed by Philadelphia. An agonizing way to lose it, 99-98. Tyrese Maxey airballing a little runner with about 4 seconds left in the game. And who was there to tip it in to win the game? It was VJ Edgecombe they had on the stat sheet that flies in there to tip it in there. The rookie showing what it's like to have some really good rookies on your team. That Sixers team's young. They're fun, but enough of that. Let's start with the Warriors start. They had 10 points in the first quarter. 10 points. That is unacceptable. Tyrese Maxey had 12 in the first quarter. So the Warriors were outscored by Maxey in the first. Fast forward to the end of this game, they have the lead with seconds left. How the hell did they get this lead?
I mean, the Sixers certainly helped. You know, there were a lot of terrible turnovers. And Tyrese Maxey kind of decided to share the wealth a little bit, and that didn't go so well for them because frankly, this Sixers team is not great either, especially with Oubre and Paul George and I think another guy on the bench in street clothes. So, there's that, and then there's Pat Spencer. He was incredible tonight, and he played the whole fourth quarter.
I'm him, baby. I love his
That
edge,
is not
man.
what he said.
He was not afraid to get into Şengün's grill in the playoffs. Like this dude, I was with the Northwestern women's basketball team last weekend in Florida.
He played for the men.
I know that, but I was with the women's basketball team, and I was talking to their head coach, McEwen, and he was just telling me, Pat, he always had that edge, man. He always had that edge.
He didn't say I'm him, Chuck. He said I'm that MFer. Can we say MFer? He laid it all out there, and he's not.
I don't give a damn, to be honest with you, but I don't know if the #1 sports podcast network out there goes along with that. But yes, he said mofo.
He's
I'm not mofo.
He's not, but he did have a heck of a game tonight, man.
Back-to-back heck of a games. Give him his flowers, please. We're going to start off the show. Say something nice about Pat Spencer for the next minute. He was the best player on the floor tonight for the Warriors.
I'm glad you qualified that. And I actually thought Moses Moody was pretty good, even though Steve Kerr went away from him in the second half for some reason. The Quentin Post wasn't bad. De'Anthony Melton wasn't bad. A few guys played pretty well tonight, but undeniably, Pat Spencer, I mean, if he's ever that such and such, it was tonight. Oklahoma City, whatever. Tonight, he did it. 16 points, 5 of 8. He also had 4 boards, 4 assists, a steal. And sometimes when you don't have any of your best players, which is what ended up happening tonight, not that Draymond is helping the offense much when Steph's not out there, but you even lost Draymond after starting the game without Steph and Jimmy. Sometimes you just need that attitude that Pat brought to the table tonight. So, look, does tonight broadly change my opinion of Pat Spencer as a player overall? No, but that's a great game. And he almost won it for them. Sadly, they couldn't inbound the ball, as several people in the chat have pointed out. And that is very depressing. But, it's also some insight into why Pat Spencer's so important right now is because he's the best ball handler they've got going, really.
And they're moving it with him in there, man. I mean, look, to all out there, my comments about pods in the past, I live in the present. Living in the past gives you depression. Living in the future gives you anxiety. I'm a present day kind of guy. And it flows smoother when Pat's out there, man. He's just whipping it around, and Pods does it a little bit differently, right? Pods, I think he thrives off Curry's gravity, frankly.
Well, I mean, everybody thrives off Curry's gravity. That's nothing new. I think Pat is a more sure-handed dribbler, frankly, than Pods. But in terms of like the comparison between the two, I mean, listen, Pods has been bad pretty much all year, but certainly lately. And so I get at a level why people are going to say,
Pods is still young, too.
Keep him on the bench and play Pat. Yeah, but here's the thing.
Work your way back into favoritism, because that's the interesting thing. Glad you brought that up, Kolsky. It reminds me of my Cincinnati Bearcats and their head coach, Wes Miller, who's going to get fired, by the way. He's been awful. UNC wanted him, and boy, they're glad they did not get him. Year 5, no NCAA tournaments. But he came into the program, and everyone just assumed he was taking the team to the Final Four. He talked like a politician. And, first 3 years, he lost every single game. And everyone's like, he's going to figure it out. He's the man. Year 5, it's pitchforks now. Brandon Pajemski came into this organization, and right away, he was gifted a very long leash, right? He's been given flowers by the organization. Rarely has he been benched. He was in the game against, I believe it was the Jazz, and immediately the next game, he goes for 32 minutes or whatever. So he has gotten all the chances in the world to kind of screw up. And at a certain point, G League or not, take away the first-round draft pick or not, take away the what did you do last year or not, and what is your future, present day, Pat Spencer's playing better basketball. And De'Anthony Melton's playing better basketball than some of the other dudes already from just one game today. And it's time to start shortening this rotation. Play with the dudes that are helping you win. Look at the plus minus over the last 2 days, if you believe in that statistic. The leaders, Pat Spencer, Guy Santos, Will Richard, and
Chuck, you watched the games. What did Guy Santos do that helped the team? Tell me one thing Guy Santos did that helped the team in these last 2 games, and I'll accept your argument.
I think he had a great back cut at one point to lay it up and in.
Come on.
It wasn't
Guy
sexy,
Santos is not, like, that's why, this is where plus minus goes wrong. Like, yes, Guy Santos is a tough hustle player, and Pat Spencer has played great the last 2 games, and Pods has been terrible. All that's true. If you are going to play Guy Santos and Pat Spencer 20 minutes a night, you're going to be a lottery team.
And if you play the other 2,
full stop.
The other 3 20 minutes a night, you're probably going to be a lottery team as well, because without Steph Curry and without Jimmy Butler, you kind of stink.
Correct. You're 100% right. The difference between playing Pat Spencer those minutes right now and playing Pods those minutes right now is Pods has a chance to be a good NBA player. Pat Spencer has a chance to, like, be a poor man's TJ McConnell, which is great if you're Pat Spencer. Player. TJ McConnell's a fine NBA player.
He's good.
He's fine. Like, he's the 200th best player in the league. This is not a diss, because what Pat Spencer has done to get to this point is phenomenal. He's a success story. But if Pat Spencer is someone you're leaning on, you suck. And if Pods does not develop to be better than Pat Spencer consistently, he sucks. Like, if Brandon Pajemski never becomes a clearly better player than Pat Spencer, everything is kind of
and that's the problem. That's the problem with all your first round picks. Unless they become consistently better than the G Leaguers that are on your team and don't seize the opportunities when they're in there, because that's what's been happening the last few nights. Like, they go out Pat Spencer and Seth Curry and all these guys come in, and all of a sudden you're playing better. Proofs of the pudding, right? Tails in the tapioca. We've talked about this, Kolsky.
But
Results.
you don't need that would make sense if we were arguing about the difference between a team where Steph Curry did not exist and you were trying to decide between winning 10 games and 14 games. Like, I get it. Pat's been better than Pods. I'm not arguing with that. He's especially the last 2 weeks or something like that, right?
What if he's just very good? Clear. What if he's just good? My issue with Pat is last year during the playoffs, I thought he had a good year last year in the moments that he got. He had that expanded role, I believe, against Houston. And aside from the headbutt of Şengün, which was legendary, I mean, that's a warrior for life right there. He his athleticism and his lack of getting separation on people, it really showed that he wasn't ready for that moment. But that was last year. This is now. He's playing well.
Dude, he's not a good defender. He can't shoot, and he's a 6'2" point guard. That's not a recipe for a high-level NBA player. And again, I hate that I keep being put in this position to sound like I'm crapping on Pat Spencer. He's not. He's a two-way guy. He's not supposed to be someone you rely on.
And that's
the problem is that Pods is not doing it. The problem, Pat Spencer's not the problem. Pat Spencer is a success story and a fun.
Kuminga was 4 of 12. He was a -18. He was sitting on the bench too. So remember, every time we say a bad word about Podziemski, we also have to say one about Kuminga, because for some reason in this fan base, you hate one or the other. It doesn't make any sense, but it feels that way from time to time.
But there's no reason to argue about Kuminga tonight because he wasn't particularly good. But I think we have to point out that it's pretty clear that Jonathan Kuminga is out there with his brain twisted into a pretzel, just trying to do what the coaches are asking him. The one thing he did tonight was rebound. He needs to get out of here.
Yeah, no, he does. As a member of a collector's community that has his rookie card patch autograph, I will need him to get out of here and at least show me somewhere else, because it's not working here.
We can argue about
jam the square into the circle now.
It's not even that, man. We can argue about what potential he has or ever had, or whether he'll ever amount to anything. But nothing could be more clear than that dude is all messed up in the head right now, and that the relationship with the organization and the coaching staff that has been rancid for years has obviously gotten to him. He's a mess. It's not just that he's not playing well, it's that he looks like he's regressed just from I want to be here standpoint. It's terrible.
And he looked good to start the year. That's the frustrating thing about it.
You know what?
Thought there was a path there.
Because after 2 games where he didn't look as good as the first 7, he got benched again. And it's just, whatever. I don't want to talk about it again. I don't want to talk about it again.
Again, he got hurt just like last year. That context does matter. I'm just saying.
He got hurt. They sucked without him, and he was clearly demoted when he returned. So
they beat the
whatever.
Spurs twice without him. Big wins.
This
no,
is not because it's obvious.
Kolsky and I said we're not going to go on a tangent. In fact, we were going to do the show at halftime when it was a 19-point game.
But this is the point, Chuck. Jonathan Kuminga is not going to work here. Whether it's because he's not good enough, or just that the coach doesn't like him, or that the fit isn't right, it doesn't matter. But I don't think anyone can reasonably observe everything that has gone on around Jonathan Kuminga in his time here and think they're finally going to work it out next week.
No.
If they ever had a chance to work it out, it was at the beginning of the year, and they were not committed to working it out, quite frankly. The guys who might still be on this team in the long term, we talked about this before the season, but you just spent 2 years blowing smoke up Podziemski's behind, telling him what a big part of things he was. And now, you're going to have to stick with him, or you're
hold on.
handicapping your franchise.
It's Danny Ainge. Markkanen. All we have to do is throw in Pajemski. Sign me up. I mean, if that was true, the report from last year, and granted, I think 3 first-round draft picks were attached, and you saw the presence of a dude like Maxey on the other team, what it is like to have star capabilities.
But hold on,
Warriors don't have anyone like that in their system right now, aside from Curry, who,
But Markkanen's not like that.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
And then you wouldn't have Jimmy. Would this team be better right now? And by the way,
you could technically have Jimmy because Wiggins, right? Nothing from that deal would have involved. You could technically have both. Like their goal was to try and get Markkanen and Paul George. Anyway, we got to pay the bills, Kolsky. Let's do that, and then we'll get back into the program. Let's talk about winning this road trip, how the Warriors are going to do it, and more arguments on what the Warriors should do moving forward. Feels like it changes every week. Someone consistently, please show me something. If that someone's Pat Spencer, albeit. This is Locked On Dubs.
Destroy Jimmy and Domino's. I know Jimmy drinks great wine.
Today's episode is brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you could put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now you can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin.
And buddy, stop trying to dribble the ball.
All right, we knew that the Warriors were going to have their work cut out for them in a game where they did not have Steph Curry, where they did not have Jimmy Butler, and 9 minutes in did not have Draymond Green. And man, it was ugly early. Down 22 at halftime. It was 30-10 Philly after 1. Warriors made a push in the third, but it was 18 at points in the fourth quarter before the Warriors went with a lineup that featured Quentin Post, that featured De'Anthony Melton, that featured Pat Spencer, that featured some, I think Seth Curry was sprinkled in there, a little bit of Will Richard. Gary Payton was in there for a minute or two towards the end, I believe. And Al Horford was in there as well. Let's start with this. I want to redact something that I said early in the season. I think you want to redact it as well. I'll redact it for you. I kind of wish the Warriors went after DeAndre Ayton, knowing what we know now as compared to that. You're still shaking your head no. Horford's not been good, man. And he's not been available.
I think he's been exactly who they expected. He's playing defense. He's rebounding when he's out there. He moves the ball along. He hasn't shot the ball well yet, but he's 39 years old.
You expected a 14%, actually, I guess 32% from 3 on the season, but 34% from the floor.
Yeah, it's not what you want for the season, but he's 39 years old, and you knew he wasn't going to play much, especially early in the season. So, like, yeah, if I had to bet, I would bet that Al Horford will be over 38% from 3 by the end of the year. And I got to say, the thing that I have noticed the most with Al Horford is how good he still is defensively. I mean, it seems like every time he's in there, he blocks a shot or two. And he really affects shots around the rim in a way that nobody else on this team does, with the possible exception of Draymond. But Draymond can't block shots around the rim like Al Horford does. So, you know, it's the same thing to me, right? This is about what I thought you'd get from Horford. I didn't think you'd have to be demanding more from Al Horford at this stage of the season, because I was
hoping
of
dudes are hurt, right?
That Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler would be playing. Yeah, I mean, I think we need to. It's important we don't lose track of that, because tonight they went out and lost an ugly game to a mediocre 76ers team, but they were missing 2 Hall of Famers who are their best 2 players. Of course they lost.
I had a Sixers fan text me, and he texted. It was at 5:02 Pacific time. So the score is 56-34. It's halftime.
Oh, God.
And he just texted me a picture of the score and said, "Chuck, what time's the pod come out tonight?" And they're just being assholes. Like, they don't actually listen to the show by any means. They know that I do it, but I said 7:15-ish. We'll be live. And then I said, imagine flexing a lead over the Warriors without Curry and Butler. And another guy came in and said, they're bad, Chuck. And I said, well, no, of course they are, you idiot. Like, look at who they're running out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the only team in the league that you could take the best 2 players off and have them not suck is the Thunder. And even them, like, maybe they wouldn't suck, but they'd be a heck of a lot worse than they are. You know, you can't just take the best 2 players off. Also, especially on this team where, like, those guys are also your best 2 offense initiators, your best 2 ball handlers. Jimmy is one of your best 2 defenders. Steph Curry's gravity makes every single player better on the floor. Like, the effect of those guys being gone, in a lot of ways, tonight was a tremendous effort to even pull it back to where they ought to have won in the end. It just feels disappointing because if they had inbounded the basketball and hit a free throw, they win this game.
By the way, the Warriors fall to 11-12. It's the first time this season they're sub 500. This road trip doesn't get any easier. It's Cleveland, it's Chicago. Both these road games very far away from home in a different time zone. 11-14, very, very realistic. At this point, Kolsky, are you looking ahead to the deadline, or do you still think with this hodgepodge of dudes that they have, and I'm talking hodgepodge, like how many did they play today? Again, they played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They played 14 dudes in today's game compared to, again, the 9 that the 76ers played. It's just consistently they run so many bodies out there. It's got to be hard to get a rhythm, you would think, when it's just all over the place. Always. And I got the chat coming in asking me to scold Pajemski. We just did for like 15 minutes. Like, can we just move on from
the best chat of the day is this. There are some truly unhinged trades in the chat.
I love it.
So Trice, you are correct. People need to chill.
And Giannis is unhinged to think, unless he demands a trade here of some sort. Like,
which he already didn't he already say the Knicks were his number 1? So if he's forcing himself
over the summer,
it's probably New York.
And he's got to look at the Warriors situation. And if Curry only has a couple more years in him, and especially with the injury bug hitting him a little more in the last few seasons, it feels like, if that's the case, like, does he really want to run with Pods and Moody, and no disrespect to them? I'm just
trade anyway.
True.
So yeah,
like,
I don't know what. That's the thing about trading
Pat
a Giannis.
Spencer and Giannis running the Warriors. Let's do it. Who says no?
Well, if you're putting Steph Curry in the trade, it's definitely not the Bucks that say no. I think.
Yeah, the chat comes in and they keep saying trade Pods. You know the guy makes $5 million, right? You know what you will get in return for Pat Spencer? Like Tyus Jones.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Tyus Jones is better than Pat Spencer. So
he's actually having a really rough season for Orlando. The Magic fans want to get rid of him. Yeah, they want to go with Michigan State dude Jace Richardson, actually, son of Warriors legend Jason.
They don't turn. He doesn't turn it over, which is nice. Anyway, they need to do something, because probably longer than I should have. I had hope that they would figure out a way to make Kuminga effective, but that's clearly not something they're interested in. And he remains. I mean, a week ago or something like that, there was an article, I think, in The Athletic about Kuminga being the best trade asset in the league. People around the league are still intrigued by the potential of Jonathan Kuminga.
Anyone
the Warriors
want to buy
are
my
not.
rookie card? What? Sorry.
Well, but I mean, here's the thing, right? They've put themselves in this situation. They paid this guy in the $20 million, whatever it is, 23 or whatever he's making this year, $24 million. He's the guy they can use to get someone, and they've not done a good job of handling the situation. But
are we sure that anyone has wanted him over the years? That's the thing that
we are sure. We are sure that people have wanted him. Well, I mean, as recently as this offseason, we know at least a couple of teams.
Sacramento said you can have Devin Carter, who's not even in the league.
They offered Malik Monk and a first-round pick.
Malik Monk is a bench player.
But you're not playing Jonathan Kuminga. I agree with you. I think Kuminga is clearly better than Malik Monk as an asset, and I would play Kuminga. So, like, the Warriors are stuck in this ridiculous face-off that is an internal battle, I guess, between maybe Dunleavy, but
we need a book from all
we
this.
assume it's
truly
late.
been
Crazy.
It's been a brutal saga. It's kind of, I mean, you could chuckle. That's what I like about the Locked On Warriors community. The comments are just so unhinged, and I love
ridiculous, though, Chuck. It's ridiculous to, on one hand, say I refuse. Like he means too much to us to trade him for Malik Monk and a first rounder, and on the other hand, say I don't want him playing in the fourth quarter ever. Like, they got to get aligned internally on this thing, and they never have been. So whether that's Joe Lacob's fault, Mike Dunleavy's fault, Steve Kerr's fault, I suppose is up for debate, and we'll never really know. Maybe it's Chuck's fault. We'll never really know until we get that book. But the way they've handled it is just stupid on its face. There's no way to defend it, because you either should have traded him for whatever you could get, or you got to play him. The middle ground is what they've done for his whole career, and what they have now is an unhappy, confused player that's maybe at his worst, and a team that is using a $20-something million salary slot on a guy the coach doesn't want to play. It's bad business.
Bad business indeed. Let's finish the recap from this game. Talk about the road trip coming up. That's straight ahead on Locked On Warriors.
Forget that. We champs. Why are you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
Game Time's the best place to get your tickets. If you've never used it before, download the Game Time app right now, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $20 off your first ticket purchase. Terms do apply. Hey, the World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since '94. And with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. Bay Area flair. Let's be honest. Getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's where Game Time is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets in every match, concert, or ticket or event with Game Time tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. You'll get alerts for teams and matches. It makes it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. Prices include the fees up front, which I love because you never get those surprise fees at checkout. Again, download the app, make an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game Time. All right, let's get back to the show.
Destroy Jimmy and Domino's. I know Jimmy drinks great wine.
All righty, Kolsky. Soccer, man. A little World Cup actually coming here soon. You're a big-time soccer guy, man, aren't you? Football.
Yeah, I love soccer.
I can't tell you anything about soccer, frankly. And Kylan, my wife,
it's a beautiful
played,
game.
Division II back in the day, so she loves it.
Right
Her job is talking soccer nonstop, and she's like, "You want to come to my soccer game?" And I'm like, "Call me when you're doing the Warriors, and I'll go to that game or something." Just never got into it. I know it's the world's most popular sport, but not for me.
Well,
let's talk basketball.
I could explain it to you someday if you want. It really is spectacular.
I mean, it seems pretty simple. It's very physical, which I didn't realize until I kind of saw it up firsthand. Like, those dudes, they're always fighting, man. They're always fighting. They're always throwing elbows. It's a physical sport. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't think now's the time for me to explain soccer to you.
No, I'm good.
Just for the record, Brandon Pajemski, not Jewish. I'm aware of the Jewish basketball players, and he's not Jewish. He's just Polish. Not all Polish people are Jewish, although I happen to be both. Many Polish people are many other religions. So,
wait, how did this get brought up?
Somebody said he's only getting minutes because he's Jewish. And I think of all places in the NBA, that's a very funny commentary, because there have been like 5 Jewish players in the history of the league, and none of them have been very good. I think Omri Caspi might be top Jew in NBA history. So I assure you, Brandon Pajemski is not Jewish, and also, if he was, it wouldn't do him any good as an NBA basketball player.
My issue with today's game, we talked about this in the first quarter, is that you are under the belief 1,000% that these dudes, and here's the belief that we're both under. Maybe if the rotations were a little bit smaller and years ago and this year and last year, whatever, they just got 36 minutes of run every single night, regardless of what happened, because they're the better players. I'm talking Moody. I'm talking Kuminga. I'm talking whoever you want to lump into that conversation. You get 36 minutes of night to at least see this guy is it, this guy is not. Rotations have been a little bit wonky. My take is that these guys just aren't good enough. Your take is that, well, they're not Tyrese Maxey good enough. They're not going to be VJ Edgecombe good enough. They don't have that sort of talent, but they can be better than they are right now. But therein lies my case in point. You want to hand this over to someone when Steph Curry is winding down, not just when he's gone, as he's winding down. He's approaching 40 years old. And the Sixers clearly have that with Embiid and George on the way out. Like, Maxey's their dude. He went for 35 tonight. He's up there with Allen Iverson and Chamberlain and some of the all-time greats in terms of scoring to start a season for Philly. He was 13 and 27, 4 of 10, 35 points. But it took Maxey a minute, right? And he's a little bit older than Kuminga, I think, at this point. But you saw it kind of coming. And you have not seen it with any of these Warriors young guys consistently at all over the last few years. And that's the issue that I have. I mean, Pods wants the keys to the kingdom. He's not getting the keys to the kingdom. Kuminga's not even going to be here that much longer, I don't think. Moody ain't getting the keys to the kingdom. At some point, I mean, you can keep trying to trade for superstars and we can dream about Giannis all we want, but this team's got to get younger. And the younger is not internal right now. The younger is through a draft. It's through a trade to get younger. It's out there, but it ain't on this team. That's just my opinion.
So, to your point, Tyrese Maxey was drafted in 2020.
I covered him his 1 year at Kentucky, and the one issue with him was he could not shoot. Like, he had great handles, good speed, like could meander through anything, but he cannot shoot the three ball. Now he can.
And his rookie year, he shot 30% from three and played 15 minutes a night. His second year, he started 74 out of the 75 games he played and played 35 minutes a night. He's played at least 33 minutes a night for now, and he's at 40 minutes a night this year, but it'll be his fifth consecutive season of 35 plus minutes a night. Do you know what he shot from three last season as he was sort of starting? Well, I guess it was the season before he really had his
hurt last year.
Yeah, but he shot in the 52 games he played, he shot 33.7%.
But he was
from
hurt.
3-point range. Well, he wasn't hurt when he was playing. He shot. My point, Chuck, is that even for Tyrese Maxey, development's not linear, and it requires a lot of time on the basketball floor. Now, I'm not saying the Warriors have any young players that are going to reach the level that Tyrese Maxey has already reached. He's an all-star, clearly. He looks like he's going to be a star in this league for the next decade at least, right? That's an incredible pick by Philly. They did a great job. This is not to bring any of that down. He's also just, as someone just said in the chat, he's so much fun. And he's efficient this year. So
very efficient.
That's all great. But again, that efficiency comes at the cost of a lot of inefficient moments playing a lot of minutes in the NBA. And I am not going to tell you that I think Moses Moody is going to be Tyrese Maxey. But I will tell you that whatever Moses Moody could be has been consistently limited by the way his career has been handled. And it's the same thing with Kuminga. I don't know how good Jonathan Kuminga will be. I have always liked the talent. I have always believed there's a player there to be developed. But I cannot tell you what he's going to be because he's never been developed. There's never been a sincere investment of confidence and consistent playing time for him. I am more comfortable with people trashing Pods than people trashing Moody or Kuminga because at least Pods has been consistently given the opportunity to prove himself. And when he does play well, he gets more opportunity. That has never been the case for Moody. And even tonight, Moses Moody was one of the best players on the floor in the first half. I don't know if he played in the fourth quarter. He had 14 points in a game where the last time he was in the game, they were losing by double digits.
That is a talking point that we didn't get to nearly enough. Not with Kuminga, because I did not think he was good whatsoever.
No, he was terrible tonight, but that has happened to Kuminga plenty of times in the past. And that's the point. It's not that I think man, they should have played Kuminga for 40 minutes tonight. He would have turned it around because he's incredible. No, I think he's a young player with a ton of talent who's never really been given an opportunity. And it's a bummer because maybe if you had given him that opportunity over Anthony Lamb 2 years ago, it'd be paying dividends now. And I was saying that 2 years ago, but it's kind of too late now. And it's just a bummer more than anything. And now you have to trade him. And I just hope they don't mess it up anymore before they're able to trade him in a month and 11 days.
Get ready to speak Trey Murphy, Bay Area. Get ready to speak Trey Murphy. I mean, someone said in the chat, and I kind of agree, that's almost like your ceiling trade, you would think. I just don't know. Yeah.
No, I don't think so, because you still can combine. The Warriors have draft assets, and they still can.
Oh, please don't give up the draft assets. Keep them. Keep them, Kolsky.
Oh, I think you will find that's an unpopular opinion among Warrior fans. If you can use draft capital and Jonathan Kuminga to put yourself in a position.
Just name a player to me. Don't say Giannis. Please don't say Giannis. But name a player to me that's realistic that you would give up multiple draft picks for, that you think could take this team over
multiple draft picks?
Multiple.
I don't know, but maybe Kuminga and I don't have numbers in front of me, right? But maybe there's a version of a Kuminga and a pick for Sabonis trade. The Kings like Kuminga. Sabonis is unhappy.
He's also unhealthy, right?
You're right. You're not going to be able to.
We want to live in the present. We want to get someone healthy.
As you said, you're not going to be able to get Giannis, who also isn't healthy, for Jonathan Kuminga and a couple picks.
Why don't we trade for Halliburton? No, I'm kidding.
Maybe you can reignite the Markkanen conversation built around Kuminga. Maybe they still like Podziemski. Who knows? They do like white players in Utah. The thing is, if you're not interested in playing a player, then almost anyone is an upgrade, right? So, yeah, maybe Trey Murphy is where it ends up, but that's an obvious edge for the Warriors versus a guy that the coach does not want to play, So it just depends. Does it matter to you that Steph Curry finishes his career playing meaningful playoff basketball, even if there's not much shot of getting to a championship? Or would you rather just give up?
Well, but if you're going to give up, you're talking about bridging a gap also that leads into like the next iteration to where you can have someone on this team through a trade that you're like, 3 years from now, I feel confident in that guy playing a significant role.
I don't think you can.
It doesn't need to be all or nothing, does it?
Yeah, I think it does.
I was saying, you could make that trade to go out and get like a Zion that's a bridge. I don't want Zion, though. That's the issue. Or Ja. I don't want any of these guys. That's the issue. But if there was a dude out there, a Booker, he's not available. If there was some dude that could bridge now and then, star now,
there isn't.
That's the issue. That's the issue.
That's not a real thing.
We have, and we better hope Curry goes for 50 every night in the playoffs.
Well, I don't think he needed to go for 50,
40.
though. I don't think that was necessary. He is that good.
And he necessary in every big win this year.
That's not true.
It is true. Denver, both the Spurs games, 40. Those are the big wins.
Okay.
Name another.
So, all right.
The 5 and 15
those
Clippers.
3. But Chuck, that's the team they built. This was never a team that was going to do anything without.
They got to lay in it. I'm not saying I don't know what to do. I'm not a GM.
Your tone suggests that by doing so, they made bad decisions or did a terrible job. And we can quibble with some of the things they did.
Made years ago. This was made through drafting and through not getting anything for Poole and for not trading dudes, trading Clay to potentially get some assets before you let him walk for Buddy and Kyle Anderson or whatever it was.
And I do think most of those decisions are pretty defensible within context. And I think the thing that gets lost far too often is that you don't bridge the gap. The gap has been successfully bridged, I believe, one time in NBA history.
Right?
With Kawhi. Because they ended up having to trade Kawhi, so they didn't do it successfully either. They had to.
They won 60-something games. They were damn good. They just ran into
their last title. Tim Duncan was on the team, right? They couldn't bridge the gap. And yeah, you can say, well, they had the guy, but they didn't have him when it was time to bridge the gap.
Fair.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, the only time I can think of is Kareem to Magic.
No, it was the Spurs beforehand. It was Duncan, Robinson to Duncan, and to Manu and to Tony from Bowen.
They never won without Duncan.
But they won without Duncan as Duncan, if that makes sense, right?
They never won a title without
was first year out of Wake Forest, Duncan. Was he Duncan? Was he the big fundamental back then? I'd have to look at the rookie stats. It was a long time
They never
ago.
won a title without Tim Duncan, so
Fair
I don't
enough.
think we can say they bridged any gaps.
All right,
fair
enough.
It's hard to do. The Warriors had an outside chance of doing it, and where they lost it really was the Wiseman pick.
They probably should have gotten older, realistically, and cobbled together some of those picks. But hey, hindsight's 2020.
But also, Chuck, I'm not sure those deals that were available at the time would have done the thing that people are hoping they would.
Drew Holiday was one of the deals. Like, does he come in and does that point of attack?
But with Clay on the team, that's a weird team.
Yeah, well, everything's weird right now in
It's
Dub
weird,
Nation.
man.
It's
weird out here.
Teams 11 and 12, weird game, 99-98. Warriors fall to the Sixers, down by 24, and Pat Spencer leads the comeback and then throws it away with 8 seconds left. He is that mofo. This is Locked On Warriors, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. See ya.
I'm here for Pat's trash talk. I really am. Oh, boy.